So some of the study considerations that we had, again, the primary charge here is we were reviewing the feasibility, the engineering feasibility of bicycle and pedestrian facility alternatives. Approximately 2.5 miles between Veterans Park to Cupertino Park. There are some things that, in the interest of time and in the interest of money, that we didn't address. As I mentioned previously, we had a very accelerated time frame, and we felt it was important to get this to this point in time to be able to then move forward with making a decision. The considerations that you see, and I understand for those of you in the back, usually I'm not a slide reader, but recognizing you probably can't see much lower than here, I'll kind of run through them. These are the same considerations when we were out in Bayview in August at the town hall meeting. Same considerations that we presented that we would look at are indeed addressed in varying detail within the study. Traffic operations and safety for all. And when I say for all, I mean for vehicular traffic as well as for bicycles and pedestrians. Americans with Disabilities Act compliance, again, thinking about primarily pedestrians in that regard. Need and probable use, the availability of alternatives, looking at the different things that we looked at, and then the estimated additional or incremental costs, which again, that is a part of the Complete Streets requirement. So now you have a sense of why are we here and what we're looking at. So let's get a sense of what we have out there today with existing conditions. We are also broadcasting live to upstairs. So therefore, I've been told I need to stand right here, except when I'm changing the slide, and that's okay. Well, anyway, this is a typical, this is like if you took the existing Hoan Bridge and you cut a slice through it, what it looks like. There are a couple things here I want to point out. One is that the Hoan Bridge itself is actually two parallel structures. At the tight arch span itself, it basically is one structure combined together. But for most of its length, it's actually two separate structures right next to each other, combined, or that go down to the ground on two separate piers. And there's about a 4-foot difference there in the middle. So speaking of the Hoan Bridge, just a brief summary again, why we're here. Big picture, we have a very large project coming down the pike. It's going to be extremely challenging when the time comes when we're under construction. There's actually 3 components to the I-794 Lake Freeway Hoan Bridge rehab. In the upper right, that orange block, is the I-74 east-west. For those of you who recall, as a part of the Marquette Interchange project, I-794 along the south side of downtown was rebuilt up to the Milwaukee River. Those remaining structures that take us from the Milwaukee River, which is on the upper part of the page, down towards the lake, those will be completely torn down and reconstructed as part of the project. The second phase of the project is in yellow, which is the lake interchange. For those structures, we're presently planning for there to be concrete overlays. And finally, the Hoan Bridge itself, the 2.5 miles, will be doing quite a bit. This is in the midpoint of a bridge's life. You have to do major maintenance, and as a part of that major maintenance, in this case it includes replacing the concrete deck driving surface, cleaning all of the steel underneath, as well as making the structural improvements that are going to be necessary to extend the design life for the Hoan a minimum of 40 to 50 years to the middle of this decade. Now, this 3-year construction period is going to begin in 2013, and the overall budget for this is $275 to $350 million. Since we had our last meeting in August out at Beulah Brenton, the department, in a partnership with the City of Milwaukee and Milwaukee County, is also looking at a couple of the ramps, specifically those east-west ramps that lead from I-794 to Lincoln Memorial Drive, and determining if there are reconfiguration or removal options there. It's kind of a separate track, does not impact the traffic analysis or things that we did, because again, we looked at big picture traffic demands between basically going across the Hoan Bridge, which would not be impacted by those ramps. It's also nice, I think, to point out, I think the department had a pretty long and positive partnership working with City of Milwaukee and Milwaukee County on transportation planning efforts, the Lakefront Planning Committee that just met, and certainly that was one of the things that came out of it. So the department is in tune and flexible and adjustable when it comes to meeting with our local partners and working on common solutions. The other thing that we have out there in terms of existing conditions is the Bayview to Milwaukee route. Again, this was Alternative 9 from the 2002 study and has since been somewhat modified. As a part of that, the overall construction budget for this improvement is going to be about $1.85 million. It's actually the first phase. The raised bike lane as well as the bike striping along Bay Street were completed this year. There's still a couple years left next year along several of the streets on the down south of Bay Street on Russell and Bay itself, as well as on the north end with Water and Erie. And you'll see those a little bit more. I think you can see them there. It's kind of near the top. I think you all know where it is. And then that middle part, the Canadian Pacific Railroad corridor, that's going to be constructed in 2013. And basically it connects Veterans Park to Cupertino Park and also incorporates part of the Oak Leaf Trail. One of the nice things, though, is this also is part of that 162-mile network that runs from Chicago to Sheboygan. So having that connection in place is going to make it so that bikes can already be able to enjoy that kind of a scenic bike ride.